The moment your mind refuses to go quiet, it feels as if something invisible has taken control of you. You lie awake, replaying the same scene, the same words, the same imagined outcomes over and over, as if your thoughts are caught in a loop you never chose. Overthinking does not announce itself with alarm. It creeps in silently, like a shadow that stretches across your mind, pretending to protect you, pretending to help you, pretending to solve the impossible. And yet, with each passing hour, it steals your calm, your clarity, and your energy. The most unsettling truth is that the mind, which once felt like your safest place, becomes the source of your deepest unrest. You are haunted not by the world outside, but by the narratives your mind insists on replaying endlessly. Overthinking is not a sign of weakness. It is not a flaw, and it is not a reflection of failure. It is simply a learned pattern, the mind's habitual way of trying to make sense of uncertainty, loss, and human interaction. The Stoics, centuries ago, understood this deeply. They observed that the human mind, left unchecked, will naturally cling to what it cannot control and neglect what it can. When someone says something that pierces your peace, or when a situation unfolds in a way you did not expect, your thoughts rush in to fill the silence. They analyze, judge, imagine, and exaggerate, weaving intricate stories out of fleeting moments. Soon, the event itself is long gone, but the suffering continues, generated entirely within you. You are no longer reacting to reality, you are reacting to your interpretation of it. What keeps overthinking alive is the illusion that thinking more will eventually bring peace. The mind believes that endless analysis, endless planning, and endless replay will somehow fix the past or secure the future. But the Stoics warned that this is a trap. Clarity does not come from more mental activity. It comes from understanding where your influence ends. Overthinking thrives on confusion between what is within your control and what is not. You cannot control other people's words, the way they behave, or the way the past unfolded. Yet the mind insists on revisiting these things, as if repetition might somehow rewrite reality. It is here that calm is lost, not because life is chaotic, but because the mind refuses to stop spinning its narratives. The first step to breaking free from overthinking is awareness. Pause. Observe your thoughts without judgment. Recognize that a thought is merely a thought, not a decree, not a prophecy, not the truth itself. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that we have control over our minds, not over external events. This awareness begins the moment you stop identifying with every thought that surfaces. Thoughts are clouds passing across the sky of your consciousness. They are not the sky itself. Each moment you notice a thought without clinging to it, you reclaim a measure of your freedom. The Stoic method teaches that you do not need to suppress thoughts. You need to observe, understand, and then release them. As awareness deepens, you begin to see clearly the difference between events and the stories you tell yourself about them. Someone's words are simply sounds. A situation is simply a moment in time. What gives these events weight is your interpretation. Overthinking is the act of adding layers upon layers to an experience, layers that were never present. Through Stoic practice, you gently peel those layers away. You examine reality as it is, not as the mind imagines it to be. You ask, what actually happened? What is under my control? What belongs to me and what belongs to the world? Most of the time, you will find that the truth is far simpler, far less threatening than the narrative your mind has constructed. With continued practice, calm begins to take root. This calm does not arrive because the world has changed, but because your relationship with your thoughts has transformed. You learn to distinguish between productive reflection and destructive rumination. Thoughts still arise, but they no longer dominate you. You choose which ones deserve your attention and which ones you allow to pass. Overthinking loses its grip when it is no longer fed by your belief in its urgency. It is not about silencing the mind, but about guiding it, like a gentle river channeling its flow, rather than letting it spill over and flood everything. The Stoics taught that life is uncertain, people are unpredictable, and the world is often indifferent to our desires. Overthinking is the natural response to these truths when left unchecked, but wisdom lies in redirecting your focus to what is yours to govern your judgments, your actions, your presence in each moment. When you shift attention from what you cannot control to what you can, the mind begins to settle. Anxiety diminishes. Clarity emerges. Your inner world stops being at war with itself, and you discover the quiet strength that was always within you. In practice, this might mean pausing before responding to a triggering comment. It might mean walking through your thoughts deliberately, questioning the assumptions behind each one. It might mean acknowledging fear, disappointment, or anger, and then letting it go because it is not yours to hold forever. Overthinking is relentless, but you can choose the degree to which it defines your experience. With patience and consistency, the mind stops running in endless loops and begins to act as a tool, not a tormentor. Eventually, you realize that stopping overthinking is not about removing thoughts or denying their existence. It is about presence, attention, and choice. It is about living in alignment with reality and accepting that some things are beyond your power and others are entirely within it. Calm arises when the mind is no longer at war with itself. It arises when you remember that life is not in the events that happen, but in how you perceive and respond to them. The Stoic method transforms overthinking from a chain that binds you into a mirror that reflects what is real, what is meaningful, and what is truly under your guidance. In the end, peace was never something to be invented or achieved through endless thought. It was always there, waiting for recognition. By observing your mind, distinguishing reality from interpretation, and focusing on what you can truly control, you find that the chaos of overthinking dissolves naturally. You learn that the mind can be both active and calm, thoughtful and serene. And in that serene space, a quiet power emerges, an unwavering clarity, an unshakable calm, and a presence that is no longer hostage to its own thoughts. It is here, in the stillness of understanding, that you finally grasp what the Stoics knew all along. Peace is never far away. It only requires that you stop chasing every thought and start seeing them as passing clouds over the vast, endless sky of your mind.